Hi, this is Angelina Asante. Welcome to another episode of Southwest Florida Online News. Today, my special guest is retired veteran Aaron Woodson, and my fellow friend because he's also an author. How are you doing, Aaron?
Hey, I'm doing good, Angelina. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad to have you on because over the last couple weeks, it's been kind of alarming to watch anything on the news. And I'm wondering, as somebody who actually did 4 tours, but one of them was in Afghanistan, what are you thinking looking at these images?
Very disturbing, heartbreaking. It just really is unfortunate, because I wasn't that far removed from being over there to any of those places, and it's just like I can't believe that this is happening. We've been 20 years being over there. It's just we thought that we were making a difference by being over there, by providing a presence, and these people failed to. The best way I could say it, they failed to take ownership and take the initiative to run their country.
It's really alarming, and I know that a lot of the Afghanistani people, sacrificed their lives, as did way too many of our troops. But I know a lot of them were working with the military to try to, pick up the pieces and get their government back together. What are you thinking when you're seeing images of them controlling the airports and not even letting our people leave?
I just see it. It's a big letdown. It's like, this is something that we all feared would happen, that could happen. And now it's actually happening. And it's really mortifying to see that. And I believe that, it could have been prevented. Obviously it's a fight, an endless fight, but, at the same time, to what end? It's just like there has to be some kind of, I don't know, like there needs to be some way we can get them out of power. And they obviously they know their territory better than we do. And we just I don't know. We just got to figure out a way to combat that.
See, and I do not watch a lot of the news because why would I? Because I'm more of a journalist than anyone else nowadays. It's really pathetic what people consider journalism nowadays. But why am I seeing all of these veterans on TV saying, what did I go there for? A lot of them sacrificed limbs and marriages and many people died. I know the families are looking at this saying, my God, I lost my daughter or my son. And what did it happen for? I think that's part of the thing that's so alarming. Now, somebody who was actually over there and had boots on the ground, what are your feelings towards, this kind of quick withdrawal where it just looked like chaos in the pictures we're seeing?
From my vantage point, I just see a lot of disorganization. I see pretty much this is just a huge failure. You got to call it for what it is. Not to sound critical or anything, but it really makes us look bad, especially to the rest of the world.
Right.
We look incompetent. It's very, very discouraging. I for one never thought, we would have pulled out in the fashion that we did. It was like we were panicking.
Right.
The whole thing is having command and control. And obviously that we know that region is unstabilized. We know that. But you wanted to get some kind of measure of control, command and control over the chaos before it even escalated to that point.
Well, I'm sorry. I've been watching like BBC and Sky News from Australia and people who are still doing real journalism, unlike American quote unquote journalists. And they're confirming everything that you're saying right now. And we, on the world stage, America is perceived as very weak and incompetent right now. I mean, and the fact that we left billions of dollars of our equipment and our technology behind, I've never been in the military, but I know, isn't there a term, burn the ships? Aren't you supposed to just burn everything and not leave everything for your enemy?
Yeah, you're supposed to dispose or destroy it in some kind of form or fashion, whether it be burying it, burning it, sinking it, what have you. A lot of stuff like that. I mean, it's fraud, waste, and abuse. I mean, the stuff that we left behind, some of that stuff we could have took with us. I mean, I'm not so sure if we could have took everything, but
right.
the majority of it we could have at least took with us, recycled it or what have you.
Now, as far as the military, so from what I understood of reports I read last week, the commander was relieved of his duty. He didn't even know they were pulling out the next day, is what I read. They came in and said, "You're relieved of duty. We're leaving tomorrow." And he's like, what the hell is happening right now? So is that really bizarre? Could that really be true?
I mean, I don't want to really say yes or no, but I mean, anything could happen. I mean, there's a term in the military that we used to say, there's a frago, meaning that, there's a change in plans. So, I mean, it's not really uncommon for, especially something new to come down, something from leadership or whatever at the last minute, to let the troops know, hey, we have to adjust or readjust and just go on with the mission.
So now all of the people that we were seeing left running towards the airport. So there were American civilians there too, correct?
Yes.
All right. So were those contractors? Do you know who was in Afghanistan?
I don't know per se exactly, but I know we do have contractors over there. So most likely they were probably on that, either in the compound or outside the wire.
Wow. Okay. Because I mean, it's very sad to see families running. There are a lot of Afghanistani people were, running with their children. It's really an upsetting thing. I mean, I think as a civilian, you expect, as unfortunate as you expect people in military outfits to be running and shooting and all that thing. But to see plainclothes civilians running, it looked like a war zone, and it looked like a bad movie. It was hard to believe.
A nightmare, total nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, just seeing them like trying to hold on to the plane or.
Oh yeah, that was really heartbreaking.
It was. I mean, my heart goes out to those people in that region. We know that not all of them are the enemy. A lot of them are under oppression.
Right.
A lot, and they just want a chance at a better life. They want to provide for their families, and I get that. But when you got terrorism, it's kind of complicated because terrorism isn't actually something you can see with the naked eye. You're basically, your head's on a swivel at all times because anybody could be a suicide bomber. Anybody could plan an attack at any given moment, a moment's notice. And, and it's unpredictable. And, this is definitely a different type of a fight than what America's been used to.
Right.
Yes, we got technology. Yes, we got the best training in the world. But these people know their land, know the land, layout of the land. They know how to work around. I guess you could say they know how to think outside the box.
Right.
And
they're trained to fight, right? Even from a young age. I mean, they're trained to fight.
Exactly. I mean, their whole objective is to. I mean, it doesn't matter to them how many people they lose to martyrdom. A martyrdom. Yeah, that's the word. For them, they're not afraid to die. Their whole agenda is to impose fear and break our will. in this country.
Mm.
And ever since we disposed of Osama bin Laden, you know, I know the Navy SEALs had disposed of him and his family, but, you know, I read somewhere, I think it was an article from Michael Moore, the guy that wrote the documentary of 9/11.
Right.
I just read an article actually yesterday saying that he quoted, I can't remember the exact quote, but to paraphrase what he said that, you know, Osama bin Laden pretty much won, even though he's dead. You know, it all started kind of stemmed from him, this whole terrorism thing. And, you know, even from the grave, he's probably like thinking like, man, my plan succeeded, you know, because now America pretty much is scrambling. They've lost a lot of money economically.
Right. Trillions
of dollars. Lives have been lost. And there's a lot of confusion right now. And so he accomplished his objective through like the terrorism of the terrorist groups that he trained and whatnot, and they practiced what he taught them.
Right. Well, I think it's interesting in war, everyone thinks that they're right. Right? Everyone is fighting like they're right. So
exactly.
Yeah, I think it's hard to bring peace to an area where but all sides think they're right. Now, as far as our military, I'm sure people who were already dealing with PTSD, I'm sure this is sending people over the edge. Now, I haven't heard that because a good journalist would cover something like that. Are you seeing that in the veteran community? Are people really having a hard time processing what's going on?
Well, some are. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I mean, obviously, it does affect veterans like myself and other veterans that have served. It touches everybody in a different way. It does strike a nerve, and I mean, some of us we're disappointed. Some of us are angry. Some of us some of us want to go back out there. Some of us feel like, okay, efforts were wasted, you know.
But from a civilian perspective, Aaron, I could tell you, I know a lot of the good that the U.S. military did over there. It's a shame that people got injured and some lost their lives, but I hope that people don't feel like it was all in vain, because I know you guys tried your best to train that military and improve the lives of the people, the Afghani people over there.
Yes, we did. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
And I
saw a pattern. Just to interject real quick.
Sure.
I saw this pattern happen in Iraq too. I mean, you know, we tried to train, the Iraqi security forces to take over, you know, their land.
Right.
You know, we were trying to train them, but you know, a lot of them didn't have the heart, or they chose to run away from the responsibility. And deja vu is like happening in Afghanistan as well.
Well, I mean, I've never been in the military, but I could tell you, I know what happens to people when they try to go against some of these groups. So, I mean, I understand, especially when their families are involved. I mean, I don't know. I understand why they have a hard time going against people. So, I don't know. It's very sad. I feel bad for everybody. I really do. I feel bad. And I really feel bad for our military, because I feel like, why do we get involved in so much stuff, and then to have it end this way? I don't know. It's just very disappointing. Like, I wish we could have all of our troops in our homeland where they belong, you know?
Right. It would be, honestly, for everybody involved in this scenario, I mean, we all would like, you know, peace and all that. At least most of us would. We would like to, you know, have a better conditions, better relations. However, there's a